I've been finding more YouTubers after making this channel, and one that I've been really getting into is Janjo Zone, and this video popped up on my recommended, the first format in Yu-Gi-Oh, and today we're going to be reacting to it. Hello everybody, and welcome back to another video. If you are new here, my name is Kyle. I am your guy with too many YouTube channels. Show the creator of this video some support in the pinned comment description down below. Let's get into what the first format was all about. This video was made 5 years ago.
This is the dawn of Yu-Gi-Oh!
I'm ready. Dude, all the old artwork too, and I've always liked the way that he presented his content from what I've seen so far, and again, I've just been personally starting to get into it. What the hell's dual sauce? Was that, maybe it's something about the channel.
Wait, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't, because that helps me upload more videos and know that you like content like this.
And again, guys, I've been really liking this channel, so please, again, go show some love in the pinned comment description down below. It's a fantastic channel, and this is just one of the older videos.
Let's take you back to March 8th, 2002, where Ja Rule was in the top 5. Everyone was anticipating the release of Ali G India House Booyakasha. The week
2002, man. I was born in 1997. I got into Yu-Gi-Oh real early in my life. I don't remember exactly what age. No, whatever the date was that the Vorse Raider tin came out. That was my first time getting cards.
Weekend was nearly here, and a brand new trading card game comes out called Yu-Gi-Oh! Based off of the popular Japanese manga about metal-haired nerds playing a card game about Egyptian-themed monsters and spirits, this game was released alongside the anime adaptation and propelled the want for children to beg their parents for cards used in the show.
You know what's funny is I actually played the game first. My uncle was the one who bought me my first tin, my first bunch of cards, and I had to I don't remember. Oh no, it was my cousins. My cousins showed me how to play the game because they already were playing the game. And it took me a long time, but I actually got into the anime show after I started learning how to play. And I learned this completely backwards.
Yep, sets. Thus, kids soon dived into the fun world of gambling to get that rare card they might not even use.
Yep.
We didn't care. If I got that Tri-Horn Dragon, you can be sure.
Dude, I'm sorry to pause again. The artwork for these old cards are so nostalgic. They're so creepy. There was just something special about them, you know?
I was going to throw that card in my main deck right away as a sign of Gambler's victory. It was finally time to duel. The first sets released were the Booster Pack, Legend of the Blue Eyes White Dragon, as well as 2 starter decks for the series protagonist and antagonist.
Yeah, and again, both of these, looking at them, man, so nostalgic. Just like the old style of the anime characters too, eh?
Yugimoto and Seto Kaiba. These were released on March 29th in North America. These 3 sets are considered the first format of the competitive Yu-Gi-Oh scene.
Yep. All of them. So nostalgic, dude. I don't know if it's an unpopular opinion, but this was always my favorite version of the Blue Eyes White Dragon, like the artwork of the card.
Known as the 2002 format, or the Yugi Kaiba format alternatively. Given the relatively small pool of cards, the cream certainly rose to the top with only a handful of competitively viable decks. These sets
Yeah, and it was just, as far as I'm aware, it was pretty well just beat down decks, right? Like you just had those nice high normal monsters, you know? It's funny looking back on how simple the game used to be.
A combination of a variety of the Japanese sets. However, despite there already existing some pretty decent cards over there, like Gemini Elf.
Oh my god, yeah, that was powerful. That was powerful because it was a 1900 4-star. Everybody ran Gemini Elf.
In the US, only got the pitiful weak cards to start. Cards like the Furious Sea King was pointless, and even slightly beefier cards like Hitatsu Mi Giant was equally useless, because even with a boost from an equipped magic card, even giants couldn't withstand the might of Battle Ox, which...
Dude, I remember Battle Ox too. Battle Ox was my brother's favorite card back in the day. He really loved this one. It was my Vorse Raider versus his Battle Ox, and Vorse Raider will always be on top.
Fault had a 500 attack point difference. By far, the most meta deck was beat down, comprising of the most powerful, easy to get out cards like Lojin, Battle Ox, and Neo the Magic Swordsman.
Oh my god, I forgot about Neo, man. I remember everybody wanting Djinn, or is it the magical genie of the lamp? Whatever it is, right? Am I mistaken in remembering this to have like 1950 or something like that? There was something special about that card that like everybody had to run, but I don't remember exactly what it was. And man, I forgot about the swordsman. Oh, that's again so nostalgic, dude.
Sure, there were stronger monsters that were tougher to get out, but it was a greater risk for victory at that point, and the name of the game is consistency. You tribute a Neo for a summoned skull and then get a trap hole on you?
Yeah.
Not a nice day.
Dude, even depending on what format you're playing, I still like running Trap Hole to this day. One of the most underrated cards in the entire game.
Some decks would play one skull. Your Lodging with 1800 attack would still be your bread and butter. You also have a myriad of surprise monsters that, while they don't have that beatdown vibe, still help out a ton, benefiting the player, such as flip effect monsters and man-eater bug, defensive monsters and wall of illusion. Or
remember when you could play stuff like a flip effect deck? I know that's like getting a little bit like into the formats a little bit, but I miss when that was actually a thing. The game slowed down a little bit and everybody could use any archetype they wanted, but again, that's expanding on what the formats ended up becoming because everybody kind of had to play beatdown this time around, right?
just pure defensive walls like Mystical Elf provided much needed control play and balance quite nicely.
Oh, but then it took forever sometimes to get past like one of these big baddies.
In case you didn't have any beefy boys in your hand. Other monsters like Trapmaster, Hane, or the Wicked Worm Beast
Oh, I always used Hane. I always used that card.
a rather unique surprise spice to each player's deck or side deck where they see fit. Using support cards in traps like Trap Hole or Wabaku, and what was then known as magic cards like Fissure and Raigeki.
I always kind of liked them better, like thinking of them as magic cards. If anybody could shed some light in the comments as to why they changed it from magic to spell, I would like to know in the comments because I always thought that was a little unnecessary, and I thought magic cards kind of sound cooler. Plus, growing up with the anime show, I'll use my magic card.
This format was very
Pot
simple
of
with
Greed.
useful cards, yet required strategy to know how to get past your opponent's own strong, recognizable army.
Yeah, remember when the game used to be about thinking? Remember that? Instead of just combo, I get this, you do this, and you can't do anything against my monsters.
It was truly like a game of chess, and where both players had the same pieces with different strategies. Know when to use your Dark Hole to clear your opponent's field, or know the right time to trigger reinforcements was the key to success.
But even then, there isn't like, I mean, there is right times for it, but you could play it and you could strategize like on the ball and like, you know what, I'm gonna wait and see what happens, that type of stuff.
Similar to the monsters, there is a clear-cut difference in what the good cards are, but that doesn't stop surprise play from happening, whether it's Last Will or Reverse Trap. This is not to say
I don't remember what Reverse Trap does, but that artwork is looking very familiar, so I'm sure that it just slipped my mind.
that beatdown was the only deck as any game. Variety does happen. Soul Control decks combine the powerful Soul Exchange card to tribute your opponent's monsters to get out your own big ones like Summon Skull.
Remember the the good old busted card Soul Exchange. Imagine telling someone who just got into the game and finally learned the modern formats that.
Or Judge Man, making it tough for the other player to get around the large boys. Using Equip Magic, Fiend Equip decks mainly contain a certain type of monster, that being Fiends, to create very powerful beaters who would otherwise be considerably weak. Dragon decks took use of Lord of D to call upon high-level dragons for a quick game. Yes,
Yeah, I remember trying to get Lord of D and the flute out at the same time. Oh, I could never make that work. But every once in a while, you get lucky, drawing them at like the same time with a nice boss monster.
even Blue Eyes saw play in the competitive scene back then. And of course you have your more troll decks like Stallburn that stop the game at a slow pace to constantly dwindle down your opponent's life points with magic and trap cards like Ukazi, Just Desserts. Well, if you want to do
I don't like those people. I don't like those decks. They took forever to beat, but who am I to say? At one point, I ran a Final Countdown deck, and at the time, it was actually a really good deck. I don't know why I had fun playing that. I would have hated myself.
one guy, Sparks. So yes, there were more than one deck, but if you weren't playing a lot of Jin and other strong beaters, then you'd be facing a greater challenge. It was a means to an end, and beatdown just happened to get there the easiest. The limited, semi-limited card list was very small as well, comprising of the set's most powerful cards, like Pot of Greed, which lets you draw
Hey, what?
2 cards
Okay.
from your deck.
I like that he actually included that. So I was about to pause and say, hey, I wonder what Pot of Greed does. Can anyone tell me what the Pot of Greed, what it
And
does?
each piece of the Unstoppable Exodia. In every deck, you had the Power 5, which were the 5 most powerful limited cards at that time.
Dude, Change of Heart is goated. I love Change of Heart. Raigeki's crazy. Raigeki was banned for so long. Dark Hole, Pot of Greed. Oh my god. I love Change of Heart. And Depending on the format that you're playing, I still love using Change of Heart.
Pot of Greed, Change of Heart, Dark Hole, Raigeki, and Monster Reborn were undeniably strong, as each card had its own benefit to giving the player a pivot for game tempo. Take control of an enemy monster, revive one of your own from the graveyard. If these weren't in your main deck, then you were at a significant disadvantage, and thus the name Power 5.
Yeah, and there's nothing really add upon that, to be honest with you. Everybody always had to use the card, and you were falling behind if you didn't. It's funny how that same kind of thing applies now with some staple cards.
There were no forbidden cards at this point, but now Change of Heart and Pot of Greed lie dormant on the forbidden list even in 2020.
Dude, at the time of recording this, or like at the time of him recording this video, Change of Heart should have never been banned, man. I always thought that card should have been banned. Like really early on. Yeah, you know what? I get that, okay, but it's not a busted card.
Testament to their power. The 2002 format went on from March until the release of the second set, Metal Raiders, at the end of June, and still sees play with its own community. Check out the 2002 Duelist Facebook page. Having a simplistic card pool to contrast with meta-viable cards only exaggerated play in card advantage and mental strategy.
Yeah, and it was a special time to play that game, and this is the type of era that I personally started learning the game. And again, I got the cards before actually learning from the anime show, and watching the anime show only made me want to play the game even more and use those boss monsters, use the summon skull, use the pot of greeds, you know? Konami was smart, man.
It's definitely a fun format to go back to in order to not only see, but play.
No, that one's not for me, though. I am a big fan of things like hat format. I love the complicated game, but not to the point where it is in modern Yu-Gi-Oh! Today. I like Edison format. Hat format is where it's at for me personally. I would not be interested in going back and playing this era.
Dawn of Yu-Gi-Oh! In the US and see the innovations even to this day. I have fun seeing and building the very anti-meta strategies like back row control, Metal Dragon Turbo.
Oh, I forgot about Metal Dragon. Oh my god. There's so many cards that haven't seen the light of day in so many years, eh?
Even my own Yumi deck. Speaking of Metal Raiders, which, set to come, changed the game by introducing certain critters, as we'll soon see.
Oh, that was Sangan. I was a little confused by that, but man, again, like, that channel has been making some really solid videos, guys. So please go show Janjo some love in the pinned comment description down below. And if you already are subscribed over there, then why don't you check out this video on screen, another reaction video from us. I would love to have you over there. Thank you very much for watching. Take care, everybody.